Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. This is Stone Savvy. Today we're going to talk about body positioning on a sports bike. The difference between body positioning on the street and body positioning on the racetrack if you're on the racetrack. You have to remember most of us drive on the street 95% of the time, and the things that we learn from YouTube, things that we learn from online doesn't necessarily apply on the street. I see a lot of posts and I see a lot of people talking about how to ride a sports bike. You have to remember that most of us ride on the street about 95% of the time, to and from work and maybe a weekend ride. There's very few of us that can afford to go to the racetrack. And so I get it that this motorcycle right here is built to go on a racetrack, but you don't have to be what I call a douche on the street and ride around as if you're racing. My recommendations are based on my experiences riding a motorcycle like this for some time now, and I really do enjoy being out and about on a motorcycle, not just because it's quick and easy on the turns, but because this motorcycle is very enjoyable. And yes, don't get me wrong, once in a while I would bleep on that throttle just to feel the speed, but I'm at an age where I am very careful and very calculated in what I do on the street. So I'm going to talk about body positioning when it comes to riding on the street. So it is very true that in the right hands, a 600 RR can be a weapon on the street when it comes to carving those curves on the mountains. And that's very true, but you don't have to be unsafe to do that. First thing you want to do when you get on roads that you don't know is slow down, because speed kills, and that's very important to remember. So slowing down, knowing the challenges that you have on the road, the things that affect your ride and inputs, you need to know that first before you start to think that you're on a racetrack. Being out on the street, like I said, is very dangerous because you have other people that you can't control, other vehicles that you can't control, and then animals on the road and things like that. So driving a motorcycle like this shouldn't be that complicated. Just enjoy your ride and be safe and always looking. So body positioning on a CBR 600RR or a sports bike like this. The good thing about a CBR 600RR is that this is one of the most comfortable motorcycles when it comes to body positioning. Like I said before, your wrist is a little bit higher and not torqued like everybody else's or like other sports bikes on the road. So when I'm riding on the street with my CBR 600RR, I usually just keep my elbows really relaxed like this, right? And keeping my toes on the pegs is probably one of the most important things that you can do when you're riding on the street. What you want to do is control your body with your legs. So when you're riding this motorcycle on the road, keep your hips, keep your legs locked into this tank right here. And that's the reason why the form of this tank is the way it is, like a teardrop, is because it allows you to lock in. I'm not so big about the distance between my crotch and this tank right here. I actually like it to be against it so I can feel the motorcycle and able to really control it this way. So many of you that get on this motorcycle are probably not beginner riders, but if you are a beginner rider, I highly suggest you learn this bike in and out before you even get way beyond your capabilities and your skills. So but if you're already riding this for some time, you know that when you turn a motorcycle, it's not about how you put your weight on one side or the other. It's how you push on this steering called a counter steer from left and right. So when you want to go left, then you push left, right? And if you want to go right, then you push right. The real power on the motorcycle and the real balance of this motorcycle is actually on your gas control. Gas control will either keep this motorcycle up or bring it down. So make sure that you're smooth on the throttle at all times. Throttle control is important. When you're turning on a motorcycle, and they teach you this at the school, is that you look where you turn. If you want to turn left, you look left, you press left. If you want to turn right, you look right, you press right, right? But when you're riding on the street, there's no need for you to get off your seat as if you're on a racetrack. Absolutely not. However, you can benefit from those type of movements when you're on your own, somewhere on a turn or a curve, right? Sometimes even on the street, I kind of hunker down a little bit, keep my elbows relaxed, and then look to where I need to turn, because that's where you're going if you're looking. And the reason why you see professional racers on the track almost get off of their seat is because they usually bring their helmet to where the mirror is when you're turning on the motorcycle, on the racetrack. So as you bring it in, then your elbow goes down on the side that you're turning, and you're pressing as well. And then if you want to just kind of keep your body out a little bit, then you can. You have to remember that when you move your body off of your tank, that now you're relying on your legs to keep you on the motorcycle. You don't want to put pressure too much on your controls up here in the front, like you're steering, because that's how the motorcycle behaves. Remember, the slightest changes on the controls up here in the front changes the whole motorcycle when you're riding on the street. Like anything else, perfect practice makes perfect sense, right? So practice, 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 and be safe riding a sports bike or any type of motorcycle. Now, if you get a chance to get on a track or a racing track somewhere, then you'll be able to increase your ability to learn at a more of a safer environment, and that's when you can really get on it. I've attended some of the advanced courses out there, and pretty good, right? They teach you how to really turn on motorcycles and really know your limitations. So I'm going to talk a little bit about body positioning on a track. On a racetrack, you can really get on it, right? If you're approaching a curve on a racetrack and you wanted to get on a certain speed and really capitalize on the ability of the motorcycle to turn, then you want to be able to learn your body positioning and be comfortable at that. The same thing on the racetrack, on the street. Your toes should be on the pegs, locked into the side of the motorcycle. And when you're getting on a turn, and you're accelerating, right? And then you're coming on a turn, and of course, you know, you want to bleed off some of your speed. On the speed, bleed off, bleed off, bleed off. And then when you're going to get ready to turn, you just shift your weight a little bit, maybe half of your cheeks, to the side where you want to turn. In this case, I want to turn on my left. So I'm coming, I'm going to look to my left, right, and then bring in my helmet to where this the mirror is going to be, and that's going to bring my left hand to the handlebar. Relax, and you turn as much you can, and it's going to bring it down. That is how you turn left on a racetrack. And then when you're bringing it back up, accelerate, accelerate, you look, bring back up. And then you accelerate, accelerate, and then you come in on a right turn. Same thing, bleed off, look, bring it down. Right? Bleed off, come up, 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 right? And then here comes a left turn again. Brake, 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 bleed off, look, bring it down. Go practice, be safe. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to comment below and let me know what you think, and I will talk to you later.